Hola, bom dia! That's quite a big gap there, isn't it? I have to do something about that. Carl Munson here of expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal show, where we say hola, bom dia, alegria to everybody. And wherever you are in the world, do let us know, actually, where you are in the world. It's moving to Portugal day today with some YouTubing legends. So let's bring them onto the show right now. We've only got an hour, everybody. And we know the questions will be coming thick and fast for these YouTube legends, Sarah and Luke. In the Castilla Branco region. Portugal, folks. Hola, bom dia. Tudo bem?
Tudo bem.
Very, very good.
It is so nice to have you here. I think a lot of people are very excited to see you on the screen here, and we'll have questions for you. Yeah, Louise is here already. Let's see who's here. And Pete's here as well. You got a few friends queuing up to say hi. Stephen Wells in the UK. Bon dia. Pete Bleach, you might know him. Bon dia, alegria. Hope everyone is well. Sorry, say that again, Sarah.
We do know Pete.
Oh, Bleachy, Luke, Sarah, and Molly are just the nicest, most enthusiastic, and interesting people you could meet. So I know today will be a great show. No pressure, guys. From Baltimore in the US, Jim White is here. Good morning to you, Jim. Love your attendance record. Jim's there in Baltimore. It's not going to be, you know, we were talking about having a coffee and waking up. I don't know what time it is for you, Jim. Early hours of the morning. So good on you, Jim, for your regular attendance. Louise, you know as well. This is going to be a great show. But everyone's really ramping this one up, aren't they? This better be good. Paul Richard, Rafael, and Central Algarve, where pleasure and joy are an everyday occurrence and life is truly satisfying. I think he's getting paid by the Algarve Tourist Board. And I know the Castilla Branco Tourist Board should be paying you too, but we'll get around to that in just a while. Portuglish Andy, morning people. Good morning to you, Andy. The Portugal Project, here we go, look. Seconding Pete's remark, I went there to meet them that couple weeks ago, and I ended up spending the whole day with them. They're lovely.
Hi, Jasper.
Hi, Jasper.
Hello, Jasper. Pedro Sutino is here. Bon dia to you. Mark Stoll, hola, bon dia from an overcast Norfolk in the UK. You can see, look at what's the weather like in Castilla Branco today, Molly?
It's beautiful again.
Beautiful again.
Blue skies.
That's the Portuguese weather report, isn't it? Beautiful again. Mark Rigby, bon dia from sunny Pavor de Vargem. Hey, Luke, Sarah, Molly, Timmy, and Goats. Timmy, who's Timmy?
Hi, Stephen.
Can we say who Timmy is?
Timmy's the cat.
Timmy the cat, excellent. Nigel Henry over in UK, morning all. Martin Jeffs is here as well. Martin near Pedrogo Grande. 4 a.m. for Jim in Baltimore. God bless you, Jim. And from TP Larson, Bon dia alegria from California as well. And look, all the YouTubers saying hi to each other as well this morning. And I've got a bone to pick with you lot. I've not been invited into this coalition of YouTubers of Portugal, but we'll talk about that. Oh, look, Molly's getting her own incoming messages as well. Don Murphy saying hi to Molly there. And Molly's wearing her bow tie especially, right, for this. Oh, I think the guys are frozen up for a moment. That's only to be expected. They are off-gridders. I will give you a little bit, for those who don't know, and that's not many, it would appear. You froze up there for a moment. I was just about to read your about section on YouTube. We're Sarah and Luke. We make videos about our experiences living off-grid in Central Portugal as total beginners. That's why you're so inspirational. I think people can relate to that. And aim to reach self-sufficiency in the near future. We upload a new episode every Saturday. So stand by, everyone. Saturday, subscribe to their channel. I'll put the link in for that. But subscribe there to get the new video every Saturday. and their topics cover everyday life, living off-grid, gardening, sustainability, building a tiny home, renovating ruins, building with natural materials, and much more. Folks, how is that all going?
It's going good.
Nice
good.
and slow.
Nice and slow. Like they say in Portuguese. What's that saying? Devagar se vai ao longe.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Slowly you get far, no?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I must find that. Yeah, I think that's a useful a little bit of wisdom for everybody from Portugal there. So
Sure.
it's going well. I mean, what possessed you to well, where are you from, and what possessed you to up sticks and put them down again near Castelo Branco?
Well, we're from Malta, the sunny island of Malta, but unfortunately they're super overpopulated.
Oh, okay. I think we're gonna these are
420,000.
Yeah, it's really overpopulated.
And yeah, we spent a good 8 years traveling and always avoiding cities and loving the wild nature and whatnot. And when we went back to Malta, it was just a bit too much for us, eh?
Yeah.
Traffic.
Yeah, we tried again in Malta. Like we left a couple of times to travel, and we spent some time in Australia and New Zealand. And eventually we wanted New Zealand because we wanted to live there and settle down there because it's beautiful. But yeah, that's far away.
Yeah.
And then yeah, one day we were in Mexico, and Luke was like, I don't know how we never thought about it before, but Portugal is amazing. It's close to our home country too.
Yeah.
It's like, let's go check it out. And we came and we
went online and saw how affordable the property is and that we could actually afford it. Because so in 2017 we had a food truck in Malta and our own house, and we decided to sell everything and planned to go to New Zealand. And in the meantime we went to the States to do I don't know if you know about that trek. It's basically walking from Mexico to Canada.
Wow.
It's like 2,650 miles, and we only did about a third of it because of the snow. It was like the worst snow in 8 years or something. But while you're walking 20 miles a day or more, you have a lot of time to think. And I just kept thinking, like, New Zealand is just so far away. Our friends and family, if they do visit, it will only be one time probably, you know. So we just kept thinking about a place in Europe. And I don't know why we never thought of Portugal. It took a while to actually get to Portugal, which is odd because, like, my great-grandfather was Portuguese.
Oh.
So, and we had never been to Portugal. And then all of a sudden it just came to me. We're in Mexico, like Sarah said. And I just went online just to see how much things cost. And we're like, wow, we could afford this. You know?
That's a big thing.
Yeah. We literally drove back we're in the very south of Mexico because we had a van at the time. And we just drove back to San Francisco, sold the van, and flew straight over. We were here within like 10 days or something.
It was very fast.
And
so
then
the universe was with you then, by the sound of it.
Yeah. I mean, we always tend to try and just do what we want, kind of thing, you know, as much as possible.
Well, we didn't have children, which makes our life a lot easier when we decide, okay, let's up and leave tomorrow, because we did this so many times in our life. Like, we're like, okay, we're fed up of this, let's go. The next day we're gone. We've quit our jobs and we leave. If we can do it, obviously.
Yeah, amazing.
Having no kids does make that decision much easier.
Yeah. No, fair enough. So
we have a kid.
You do got a fur baby there, and the cat might be dropping in as well by the sound of it.
He sleeps a lot now.
Oh, okay, as cats do. But I mean, whenever there's a video being made, cats tend to wake up and want to come and show their bottom to the camera. So we'll see if we'll come and see if that happens during the making of this live stream this morning. So we'll come back to your arrival in Portugal. I mean, looking online, seeing somewhere after you said hello to a few more people who are so glad to see you here this morning. A beautiful doggy, says Maxine. Ron Shea is here and in Cascais this morning. Marion's here with a few good mornings as well to you.
We know
Marion as well, Hartshorn. We've seen Marion from time to time here. Stephen, so jealous of the land you have. I'm dreaming of something similar. Other sites are available, Stephen. Get your finger out, mate, and get over to Portugal. Here, I can say that to I know him quite well. I wouldn't say that to a complete stranger. There's the channel. Subscribe there, if you will. João Gloria is here. Bom dia, flores do dia. Flowers of the day is that? How lovely, João. That's a nice greeting. Oh, Bleach is showing off with his command of Portuguese here.
Wow.
What does that mean? I wonder. Is he insulting me or? Come on.
I think I know what he's on about.
What's that?
I'm not 100% sure, but he's got a fascination with comb overs.
Oh, I see. Am I wearing a wig, maybe?
I'm not sure, but Penta might be a comb over. I'm not sure.
Am I sporting? I've got nothing to comb over, Pete. So, but anyway, we'll come back to that. From Malta is a question from Jim. So originally from Malta, yeah. What is it about? I know so many lovely Maltese people, and I guess it might be a bit heartbreaking for you to. It's a lovely country, isn't it? But you said it's a bit overpopulated.
It's beautiful country.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also there's a similar. You know how there's a great Portuguese diaspora. You know what do they say? Like 10 million people here, 2 million people around the world. Second biggest Portuguese city is Paris. Are the Maltese quite similar? The Maltese get away from Malta.
Maybe nowadays much more, but before not as much. I think not as much because it was an island, you know. And back before we had like budget airlines and stuff, it was pretty expensive to fly, you know. And it's not like any other mainland country, obviously, mainland European country where you can just drive.
Yes, indeed.
When did they move to the masses?
Yeah, there were mass migrations to Australia
and
England. Yeah.
And now Portugal. Fantastic. So Joel is here as well in Matosinhos up in near Porto this morning. Phil Cooklin's here. Hola, bon dia, alegria. I'm sure we'll be inspired by the journey you're going to tell us about as well. Winnie is here with a boom dear. That's fantastic. Phil and Kimberly love your videos, Sarah and Luke.
Guys.
Where is Prosecco Peggy? I need help to support the Algarve. My 90 Brexit day limit is soon up. I'll have to go back to the UK, but not for long. Okay, so he needs a drinking buddy. Prosecco Peggy, where are you? Bon dia from Jeff Jackson in the States. Hey guys, look, Malta property auctioneers. You might know them.
Yeah, we know him. He's one of our good friends.
He sold my house.
Okay, so if anyone's tuned in from Malta and they need to sell your house, Malta property auctioneers are the people to speak to, possibly Stefan. Bearders 22, bon dia, Luke and Sarah. You always amaze me how your positive attitude means that you can turn your hand to anything. My week isn't complete without one of your videos. Keep up the great work. It's true. True story. So Luke is famous for making a chair, or no, more than one chair, a number of chairs now. One to be featured on television by the sound of it soon. Another to be featured in the forthcoming Bleach channel. And I said, "Oh, are you a carpenter? Are you a joiner?" He said, "No, I'm a chef." So Luke has just turned his hand to creating these amazing things. But anyway, let's rewind a bit. So you saw property on the internet, presumably, while you were over there in America. And you thought, we can afford that, we're going to do it. Can you tell us a bit more about that process? Because you zoomed in on Castelo Branco at that point, did you?
No, not at all. We were looking everywhere. And Luke kind of wanted somewhere by the sea. Back then we thought, okay, we're probably going to find something that's within our budget. But no, we wanted land. So we didn't just want a house. We might have been able to afford a house by the beach, maybe. But we wanted land to have animals, have a farm. This is my dream forever. So we're just looking everywhere, and it was a full-time job. As soon as we realized we want to come here, it was just like looking online from morning to night on as many.
And
what
we as soon as we got here, we just rented a car and we drove around from north to south, just trying to find our place. We must have seen over 50 properties, all over Portugal. But then Castelo Branco kept coming up, like for real affordable property and huge pieces of land. And coming from Malta, where I don't know what the average square meterage is in Malta, you know, but when you look online and you find places like we have 17 hectares, you know, it's 42 acres. It just blew our mind. It's 7 times smaller than my hometown, basically. So what?
That's amazing when you put it like that.
Yeah, we didn't think we'd be able to afford something like this, and we fell in love with it as soon as we saw it.
So you drove up, you saw it was available. Castelo Branco kept coming up in your mind and in your perspective, and you drove up to the land to take a look, and that was it. You fell in love at first sight.
Yeah, straight away. We're like, as soon as we saw it, okay, I think this is the one we're gonna get.
Wow.
And the estate agent was like, because there were two estate agents with us, one who knew the land and the one who was selling it to us. But she was in high heels, the one who had never seen the land. And she's like, but do you want to go down by the river? Of course, we want to buy this property. We want to see everything. So she's there in her high heels. Like, she did it, though. And it's hard terrain, some of it.
Yeah, and it's wild. I mean, it's very wild.
So, yeah, we're like, okay, we're going to take it.
Hold on a minute. So she made her way down to the river in high heels?
Yeah, she did.
That's the sort of estate agent you want working for you, right? Somebody who's prepared to do that. That's going to get your property sold. Fantastic.
And the other guy was just amazing. He was just bouncing off the boulders. He was insane. We're still in contact with him because he's great. He's an awesome estate agent and person.
And just what you saw, it just got better and better by the sound of it.
Yes.
Yeah. As soon as we walked into the land, and it's about 300 or 400 meters up to this ruin. The walls are good, but the roof isn't there, and the roof was on the floor and then covered in brambles. We couldn't really even go into the ruin. No. And then he's like, okay, let's walk around. And he's like, yeah, the river's down there. There's about 400 meters of river. And then the female, what's her name? I forgot her name now.
I forgot her name.
She's like, do you want to go down there? Of course we want to go down to the river. I mean,
we'll have a swim.
So we just went around, and it's just insane. There's boulders everywhere. It just blew us away. And realistically, we knew we couldn't really afford to do what we wanted to do with it, because I mean, it's massive. But we said we don't care. We want it.
No.
We'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out. As long as we have the land, that is the most important. And then whatever happens next, we'll figure it out.
That's the spirit. And so, okay. So what happened next? I mean, you got to put an offer in. What was the process like for securing? I mean, at this stage, this is a really tricky stage for people, isn't it? You fall in love with the property or some land. And then the next step is to secure it, isn't it? It's all very well to want it and to fall in love with it. But the deal has to be done, and that's not always the easiest thing in Portugal. How easy or otherwise was it for you?
Well, we read a lot about it, and we read about things to be on the lookout for. What we didn't know was, okay, we put in the offer and it got accepted and all that. So, but once it was accepted, they send a letter to the neighbors that touch your land, to ask if they want it first for the price.
Nerve-wracking moment.
So we're like, we were like stressing for 2 weeks, because I think there was a 2-week wait for them to reply to the estate agent to see if they want it or not.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my goodness, but we love this land. We're not we're not gonna let anyone buy it.
I thought it was really strange, that you haggle. Let's say, you haggle down a price or whatever, and then they just offer it for the same price to the neighbors that have less than 4 hectares.
Yeah, less than 4 hectares, they ask people. But we're like, we haggled. Why didn't you ask them before you sold the land?
Thankfully, no one wanted it. No one wanted it, obviously. But yeah, it was a bit of a nail-biting moment for a couple of weeks, just waiting for them to call us.
How awful.
We didn't really have any problems, because we read all this and we're like, okay, we need a piece of land that we're going to be allowed to live on, because we read a lot about these illegal properties and all that.
Sure.
But this had a rule, and we're like, we signed something saying until we get this paper that says that we have a license.
The certificate of certidão, the free of use or something. Yeah.
So basically, if it was something like that anyway. But anyway, we got this paper. Everything went smoothly because we got a lawyer, and she was really good. She spoke good English, and she was, just an independent lawyer. And she was just looking after our needs. So everything went so smoothly.
Beautiful.
And it was brilliant. And the guy we bought it off, he's like, because we were renting out a place somewhere else, and he said, you know what, you can, even if it falls through, you can stay on the land. And then if it falls through, you've cleaned a little bit of the land for me. You've had free rent, so it's a win-win. And we go.
Oh, yes.
But it wasn't the case. Everything went smoothly and we got it. So by the time we actually signed the papers and everything, we already had a garden growing here. It was perfect.
That's amazing, isn't it? Now, in my native UK, I suspect that probably wouldn't happen. In America, it probably wouldn't happen. But there's a reflection for you, right, of the Portuguese heart and mind in action, I think.
Yeah. We have every single, like in the beginning, okay, maybe now we've met one or two maybe that weren't too happy with us, but along the way and in the beginning, it was like everyone was so friendly and wanted to help us. That was we were not used to that, even though Maltese are friendly, but this is another kind of friendly. They really want to help you.
Friendly plus. Yeah. Portuguese friendly. Absolutely amazing. So the time scale then on that, and folks, get your questions in. If you've got any, I'm happy to dominate asking all the questions here because there's so many things I want to find out from Sarah and Luke. But do stick your questions in the comments. But from that moment where you were in America thinking, hey, Portugal could work for us, that's affordable, and actually sort of parking your bums on a boulder, as it were, how long did that process take, do you think?
About 6 months till we signed everything, but we're after three months we're already living on the land.
Yeah, we left. I think we got to Portugal 1st of December, 2017, and we moved on to the land around April, I think.
April, yes. April. So 4 months later, we're living here.
And then we had the land was officially ours around June, I think, or something, because we were here a couple of months before it was legally ours. Yeah.
How wonderful! Was Molly on this whole journey with you, or did you meet Molly here?
No. So as soon as the guy who we bought the property from told us we can move here, we went to get her.
Beautiful, fantastic.
She was a 2-day-old thrown in a bin.
Oh,
yes, at 2 days old, someone threw her in a dustbin, and the guy at the pound knew we were looking for a dog, so he phoned us and he's like, we have a puppy for you, but she's 2 days old and she's with 3 more boys, so we're going to keep them together as long as we can.
Yeah.
But then after 2 weeks, he's like, you know what, come and take her, because I can't take care of them all. I have hundreds of dogs here.
So many,
they needed a bit more care than he could give them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So do you, just as a little side note then on furry friends here, do you think rescue dogs love you that little bit more than other dogs?
No.
I mean, she knows, right?
We've only ever had rescue.
We've only ever had rescue dogs too, growing up, but she's something special.
Yeah.
I've never had anyone maybe I've never treated a dog like I do a child, but I do to her. So.
Brilliant. Okay. A few more comments. Hwini too, lol, bom dia. I don't know which bit they were laughing at. Hwini there. So I've started a rumor here, and I'm gonna fan these flames, Pete. No. Pete is starting a channel. That'd be great. Yeah. Watch your space. Matthias, bom dia from Amsterdam. Late to the show, but I'm here. Good on you. Live from Amsterdam. Oh, this is an off-grid thing, Nigel. You're gonna have to turn your volume up. Do you know what? We're lucky to have Sarah and Luke here at all, and we do occasionally have to put up with the occasional freeze on the internet and other things like a little bit of a volume. I might be booming, so sorry if I'll turn myself down a bit to balance things up. But Nigel, turn it up at your end, mate, if you don't mind, because it's a bit of an off-grid thing, and we're going to come on to the whole business of off-grid and living the dream in just a moment. Molly is the most amazing dog. Tick says hello. Luke is an incredible chef, and Sarah has an incredible affinity with animals. She even taught Timmy to high five. So the cat can do a mais cinco then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And they have
tricks, but
tricks. A cat that does tricks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He turns around, he sits, and he gives me a high five.
That's unusual for a cat, isn't it? Because
they don't like him young.
Yes, how amazing. They have the most beautiful land. Yep. Bon dia, of course, from Matthias. A lot of wonderful people living in Castellated Blanco and Fundea. So I love that. Castellated Blanco. We know what you mean, Winnie. Castellated and Fundao, I think. It is a great place to look. I love the fact that you still keep finding things on your land when you clear the brambles. Yes, it's like a Christmas gift. Okay, so on that matter then, what have you unearthed or discovered on your land there?
Well, a couple of months now, I would imagine.
A few months ago.
There was like I called it the Great Wall of Bramble because it was insane. Our farm was abandoned for 40 years, so you can imagine what grew in that time.
Oh,
But we've got about 5 valleys, small valleys, like terraced valleys, which we haven't had access to just because of all the growth. But one of them, which is closest to us, just down further by the goats, we could hear water most of the year running. So yeah, I just basically got in there for a few weeks and cleared it all out. We found a little pond and this massive wall.
The most amazing wall.
Amazing wall. With a spring, and it just blew me away. It's just so amazing, and I can't wait to unearth so much more. You know, I mean, these 5 valleys that we hear running water for most of the year, mainly just not in July and August when
we have a lot to explore still.
Dries out.
So
isn't that amazing? Exploration still on your own land there.
And so it's gonna be like this for a lot of years. You know, it's like
years to come. Wow.
Yeah,
and if you find that the lost hill tribe of Castelo Branco there living and feeding themselves on the land, I guess that'll be an exciting moment. I'd like the exclusive on that, if that's all right. Your enthusiasm is infectious. How fun, says Jim. Even at 4 a.m, you're spreading inspiration around the world. Sean Maguire's here as well, another lover of the Castelo Branco area, because Sean Maguire. Morning troops from Garvo Austin. Can't type this morning, it seems. Don't worry about that. We understood, Matthias. Wow, what you've achieved is amazing. What a journey and an adventure. I think we've barely scratched the surface, but you're absolutely right there, Fiona and Simon. Absolutely, Pete Bleach should have a channel. Bleach G, do it. It's the rumor. Well, eventually, the reality will catch up with the rumor. Hola, bon dia, going to listen for solar panel info. Okay, so we must cover that for Khadija. Could you ask Sarah and Luke what their biggest challenge has been, please, Uncle Carl? Seeing as you asked so nicely, Phil. So what's been the biggest challenge so far, guys?
I'm not even sure, because every little thing, everything we do, we have to look up. So maybe that's the challenge. We have to learn every single thing that we've done on the land.
Yeah.
But since we're doing it so slowly, it doesn't seem super challenging.
Everything is a challenge, but nowadays you just go on to YouTube.
I know what the biggest challenge was, and we're gonna probably touch on it with the solar, because that was the biggest challenge.
Well, that was
learning electricity for Luke.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Otherwise, everything else was kind of safe. You know, we learned gardening, we're putting up things and building.
Yeah, I've always been scared of, not scared, but
respectful.
Not confident in messing around with electricity. You know.
Yes.
Like
quite wisely.
I've built a few vans in the past, and like in the States, we bought this van and I converted it into a camper. And I spent a couple of weeks researching online on how to wire everything up and everything. And then I just chickened out and got a professional to do it and spent like $1.5 grand or something.
Yeah, that was so expensive.
And then when I looked at what he did, it was exactly like my diagram on how I was going to do it. But I just didn't have the courage to do it myself. And when we came to set up our solar system over here, I bought a kit from a Portuguese salesman from a Spanish company because it seemed cheaper. And then I contacted a few people to install it, and it was going to cost like $1,500 or something for a system that's cost us $3,000. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to do it myself. So I guess that would have been the biggest challenge, because it took me so long to do just to get the courage up to do it. But I did have a bit of help from a few neighbors who we had just met. And he's like, yeah, it's not that hard. Don't worry.
Well, Marion, who's listening now.
Marion, who's listening, her husband Rolly,
helped us. So
definitely gave me some courage to do it. And
terrific. So can you tell us a little bit more about your off grid from your point of view? You know, this is what you're known for on YouTube, as being these sort of intrepid off-gridders. What are your off-grid aspirations? I mean, to be completely off the electric mainframe, off mains, water. I mean, what is the extent of it for you guys?
We'll always have internet, because we'll always have a YouTube.
It's a human right. Come on.
Yeah, but we've got a few comments like, you call yourself off-gridders, what are you doing on YouTube? Well, this is how we're trying to make money and living.
Oh, for goodness sake, have a word with yourselves, people who write that. Yes, we won't.
we learned everything from YouTube. What the heck?
Yeah,
Why can't we be on YouTube?
We wouldn't be able to do anything without the internet because we have to learn everything. You know?
Yes. Well, also, for those people, then the only way of being off grid is for you to be sat in a field constantly with no roof, no clothes, possibly.
Yeah, well, I tell you, mate, it's not primitive. It's off grid. It's not the same thing, you know.
Okay.
Yes, to try and do most of the things ourselves, but I mean, there's certain things that you still need to.
I would love to have all types of alternative energy. You know, I'd love to have a turbine or a water turbine and everything. This stuff is just amazing to me. All the stuff you can do, you know, that's not being on the grid. And
we're lucky. We
being
do have
green.
we do have a river that flows for
most of the year.
Most of the year, so we could do something with the river once we move to the ruin. Right now, we're living a little bit far away from there. But yeah, eventually we'll do something like that, and we plan to have a lot more animals.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's your thing, isn't it? And we must talk about the husbandry side as well. So you basically created a temporary dwelling, have you, before you attacked the ruin? Is that the process?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to take a while, so we need it somewhere to stay till we do it. You know, I mean.
Yeah.
And we do want to get workaways as well.
Yeah.
So because there's just 17 hectares of land, so we're going to need all the help we can get, basically.
You can actually literally say to them, "Can you go and work away from us, like 5 hectares over in that direction?" So woofers and workawayers, that's interesting point to make. And people who obviously really enjoy and inspired by what you do might want to come and do a bit of work with you. So watch out for that, of course. And what's the best way of making contact then for people who might want to be helping you out in that way?
We've already gotten a lot of emails and a lot of messages, and we're like, as soon as we are totally ready, we just want to have a bit of an outdoor area, like kitchen built, so everyone can hang out there.
Yeah.
We love people, but we don't want them always in our personal space, which is
of course
if we got them now. So we're like, as soon as we're ready, we'll just post something on YouTube, and I think that should be.
Yeah, we've got that channel, so I think that's going to be the easiest way to get people, you know.
Help.
All right, so they subscribe to the channel, folks, and keep an eye on it that way if you're thinking of offering your services there in near Castelo Branco. A few more comments. Susan is here. Bon dia, celebrating being a Portuguese resident as of yesterday, doing the happy dance. Fabulous. Well, congratulations, parabéns. I must say there. Maxine, another Portuguese rescue dog, the best. And lots of lovely emojis there for Molly. Hi, guys. What is your land classification? Do you need habitation license off-grid? How does this work? Because this is a big issue for people, isn't it? A lot of people just want to rock up next to their newly purchased boulders and just live there. You can't just do that, can you? You've got to be a bit sensible about these things.
Yeah. Yes. We eventually, once we start on the ruin, we'll be able to put in a project. But like I said, we got a certificate of free of use. Hey, that's the word.
I think that's what it says in Portuguese. Anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
It was what was it?
Being pre-built before 1951, was it? I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
these are the things. I mean, you mentioned having a good independent lawyer. This is what you need on your side, right? To be helping you and to be letting you know what you can and can't do, and to be working with the local authority, right?
Yeah, because we met a lot of estate agents who promised us that this is a legal property and all this. And as soon as I ask, let me see the papers, they're like, we're not going to get back to you.
Yeah, fair enough.
A lot of times we don't hear back from them. First, they're like messaging us every day, and then it's like, no more.
Indeed. Okay.
No.
So do that due diligence with the licensing, and you're just going to save a lot of hassle for yourself if you do it like that. A question from Jim White before we talk about animals. What about this adventure gives you energy, you folks? Because he's admiring your energy from afar there.
The one thing that I really, really enjoy is that every day is different.
Yeah.
You know, like as a chef, I always got bored working in the same place. As soon as it felt like a bit of a food factory, you know, where you're just dishing out food, and it's always the same. You wake up, you go to work, and then you cook back home. And, you know, that really I always hated that. But over here, it's just so varied. It's like,
yeah, you do something different every day.
Yeah.
And you are your own boss, which kind of sucks.
well,
Because you have to, but it kind of sucks because you have to do everything, and there's no one there to.
Yes. Tell you
No
what
one
to do, or, yeah, or to blame for all this hard work. You've only got yourselves to blame, haven't you?
Yeah. It's definitely
Okay.
the hardest job we have to do, but it's the most fun.
it's the most
Definitely
rewarding.
the most
Hey,
rewarding and
everything
the
you
most fun.
do is for you. I mean, everything.
Yeah, and also if I might extend that, I mean, the sense I get with you is that you've got a sort of bigger humanitarian global agenda to sort of regenerate your land, and that doing that I think is life giving in all sorts of ways, and I think another reason why people find your journey inspirational. So if I might add that, I think that's a really important thing now. I mean, how big is the environmental philosophical aspect of this to you?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, just bringing the land back to what it was. I mean, we're very, very far away from that. But even just uncovering I'm guessing, but like a 300-400-year-old wall, you know, it's like, it's amazing. And we've got canals and all over the 17 hectares. It's
to bring this land to life.
Just to see it come back like that, it's just so rewarding, eh? And it's just, even the neighbors, they're like the Senor Marcus up the hill. He's I think he's about 89 or something now, him and his wife.
Wow.
They used to work here because this used to be an old sheep's cheese farm.
Wow.
40 odd years ago when it was abandoned. So I would guess about 50 or 55 years ago, they used to work here.
Amazing.
You know, and I talked to him, and he's like, yeah, they used to have this and they used to have that. And he's really happy that because a lot of younger Portuguese, as you well know, they left the center where they couldn't make money, you know, and they went to the cities or abroad like many Portuguese do. So when they see young people like us, well, youngish people,
but then we're young.
but yeah, well, he's double our age. So coming here and just constantly working and doing stuff on the land, they really, really like that, you know.
Yes, that's what you find, isn't it? I think because they could be the opposite, couldn't they? You know, a resentment of foreigners coming in, but what you described there is widely held, I think, in Portugal, and what a lovely thing that is.
And I think living, I mean, if he lives next to a 17 overgrown farm, the fire danger is huge, you know. He's very happy that we've slowly cleaning the land, you know.
And while clearing the land, we're uncovering more cork trees, which are now getting some life into them, because they were too small to grow because of all the bushes. So now we're cleaning that. We don't even have to plant. First, we're like, we're going to regenerate this land by cleaning it.
Reforestation and all this.
Plant a bunch of cork trees again.
Don't need to.
But we're just finding these cork trees, and then just like, oh, thank you, I can grow now.
Oh, how wonderful. So you say the wall is 300 or 400 years old. I think Andy was hoping it was a Roman artifact that you've uncovered.
A complete guess. That's a complete guess.
It could be.
I asked Senor Marques, the neighbor, and I was like, how old do you think it is? He's like, oh, no, sir. You know, so I have no idea how to find out. So I just imagine that
amazing. It might be Roman then. It could be Roman. Looking forward to viewing your channel is Nigel Henry, to add to the 4 others for weekly viewing.
Oh, thank you, Nigel.
Hats off to Sarah and Luke from Don, following their channel, and for every problem they encounter, a solution is found. Don't forget to mention your workout washing machine. Come on, what's the workout washing machine?
Cycle-powered washing machine.
Excellent. No need to be going to Castella Branca to go to the gym. You'll get a workout every time you spin your smalls, by the sound of it.
Yep.
Fantastic. Pete Bleach. Oh, some news on the channel maybe. I will open mine up as long as Garvo opens up his long-awaited eco-sexual tree channel. Oh, okay. Well, there's a challenge for Garvo as well. Do you both speak Portuguese? Is a good question. This helps with friendliness with the neighbours, or were they just friendly and welcoming anyway? This must be a great feeling. So how's it going getting into the Portuguese language and culture, folks?
For me, it's going very, very slow. but the neighbors still love me anyway. It's true.
Of course.
But for Luke, it's so much faster. Yeah. I find it really hard to learn a language. I don't know. There's something in my brain that's
Okay.
I'm trying to give it my all, but I do listen to Portuguese. I'm learning on CD, and yeah, I listen to a lot of amazing people who give lessons online. But
Sarah doesn't leave the land much.
Okay.
That's another thing.
So she doesn't interact as much as me, I guess, with Portuguese people. I'm the person who always goes shopping.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I practice my Portuguese basically. But most Maltese people speak English, Maltese, and Italian.
Oh.
Especially people my age, because when we were younger, we only had Italian TV.
Really?
So I learned Italian by watching Japanese cartoons dubbed in Italian.
Of course.
Which is an odd thing.
Yeah.
But Sarah didn't used to watch TV when she was young, so she doesn't speak. She can understand Italian, but she's not so fluent. But so yeah, Italian really helps a lot, obviously, so
yeah,
that's a huge help for me. But I think my advice to anyone is living here and trying to learn Portuguese is to just go for it.
Yeah,
don't be afraid of making an ass of yourself, basically.
Really,
I just always try to speak Portuguese, always.
Yeah.
And if I don't know a word in Portuguese, I throw one in there in Italian with a Portuguese accent, or whatever, I just go for it. And they appreciate it, Portuguese people, when they see you're trying, and they laugh at you, but
yeah. Absolutely. Oh, that's really nice to know. That's really nice to know. And culture, because we do like to share things on the show here. This my treasure to share this morning is the bola de Berlim. What is your favorite snack or pastry here? And I'm gonna have a little go at that by the time the show's out. That's the bola de Berlim. I think that was you've got nothing. I'm sorry to do that to you then, to hold that up in front. I'm gonna eat the whole thing later on, maybe in front of camera. But what in terms of culture and food, what else have you discovered that you love now here in Portugal?
Well, food for me, the natas, the world famous natas, pastel de natas are amazing.
Yeah.
I do love the caldeirada de peixe.
Oh yeah, that is
yummy.
Delicious.
The caldeirada
is that a fish stew?
A fish stew with potatoes, onions, and peppers.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Love that.
Okay, there's a chef talking as well, so that that's going to be good.
And we love
brilliant.
Have you the bread here is amazing.
The bread is amazing, isn't it? And do they deliver to you, or is that not something that happens in your part of the world?
No, not even the postman comes this way. But
it's how remote you are. Okay.
No, bread is a very important thing to us because in Malta the bread is super delicious.
Oh,
and wherever we traveled a lot of places, and the bread was always not up to our standards. And that's the one thing we used to miss a lot when we were traveling. We're like, oh man, the bread. When we came here, no more problems because the bread is
similar.
Yeah, it's very similar.
We find a lot of similarities between Portugal and Malta. Not like even we have this goat's cheese. The little cups of fresh goats or sheep's cheese, the fresh ones.
Yes.
We have our main cheese, the most traditional cheese is very similar to that. We also do a dried version.
Yeah.
But just having those similarities was really good for us, because normally we've lived in many different countries over the years, and normally these are the things we miss, even though I can make some of them.
Yes.
But over here, we get something quite similar.
Oh, how lovely. You're just like coming home then, a home from home. That's fantastic. So tying together the language and the culture and the animals, I'm going to attempt to do that now. But Painter, Pete's right. Look at this. I've got me Bobby Charlton going on now. So I'll just try and arrange this a little bit better. So people know, Painter is a comb, not a comb over, although, it's heading that way. So each one of these is precious to me. So I'll just arrange those a bit better for the sake of people. And Bura. This is, as well as me bola de Berlim, which is your Berlin cake. I think in the wartime, the Germans because Portugal was neutral, when the Germans were in Estoril, they wanted a custard donut, and hence this is a great thing about the sort of the culinary magpie culture of Portugal. So I've got my bola de Berlim custard donut, but look at this. I found this in a supermarket. Or Mrs.
Buttermilk.
Donkey. That is donkey milk. Donkey milk, isn't it? And that is a bar. I'm not going to eat it. That's a bar of soap. So I guess it's like ass's milk, isn't it? I suppose.
Nice.
And Mike, see what I did there? Are you going to have donkeys? Tell us about the animals you're going to have, Sarah.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna have one of it. No, we're not gonna have one.
Everything.
I want everything, but everything is going to be slow because now we've just decided that didn't just decide, but every time we get an animal, we have to learn everything from the beginning because it's the first time we've ever had an animal like that.
Yeah.
So we've just decided chickens, only hens for now because the roosters are a big problem for me.
Very wise, very wise.
And so now we have goats, and we're going to move up slowly. I really want a pig next.
No, but no.
No.
If it was up to Sarah, we'd have everything and all of them sleeping on our bed. So I have to put my foot down because she thinks every animal is like her kid, you know.
Okay.
But no, first before we get any other animal, we need to build the ruin and have a proper homestead, proper farm, you know, and be proper and have a proper everything the way it should be, basically.
Yeah. So it's a milestone approach to the livestock. Then do this bit, get that animal, do this other bit.
Yes.
Yeah, the big thing is putting in the project and rebuilding the ruin the way we want it. And then we can start building our farm, basically.
Because the animals take a lot of time, even though we have very few. I don't know how people do it when they have loads of them.
Oh, yes.
We're not set up properly yet.
And you have to learn everything.
Yes, and we're learning everything from scratch. Like yesterday, one of the goats got, I think, stung by a bee or something, but she was screaming, and I was like, what am I gonna do?
What do I do? Yeah.
But then I remembered what the vet told me about Molly when she had got stung, and if it doesn't keep growing after half an hour, then they're fine.
Yes.
So half an hour it seems to have been going down, and then she was okay by the evening. But all these little things, I think, oh no, they're gonna die straight away.
Yeah. Oh, the ups and downs. Oh, amazing. Yes, I think people can relate to that. But goats, of course, are going to be good for your clearing, aren't they?
Yes,
that's why. That's the main reason why we got them.
Yeah,
but we did have a bit of like now we have 4 goats, two baby girls and 2 boys, and if we knew this before, maybe no boys to start off with.
Boys are just trouble, aren't they? So no cockerels, no boy goats.
When you have animals, I think if you're just starting out, I would suggest don't get any males till you learn more about the females, and then if you feel confident, then throw in a male here and there.
Well, some people say that about human communities as well. No men, just women here, please. That sounds great. You can look everything up and learn what you need. As I've not ever had a garden and want to buy a farm in Portugal within the next 12 months, so I will have to learn everything too.
Yes.
That's brave, isn't it? So no garden to a farm. But support is here, Matthias, for sure. Isn't the internet a grid too? That's Jim in Baltimore. It is Jim, without a doubt. But we make an exception for that because without it, we wouldn't be talking to these guys this morning, for one thing.
Some of us have to make some money somehow, you know. We're living off grid and no one's paying us.
Yeah, somebody was asking about that. We'll come to that. Off grid for me is about electricity, waste, and sewage. Internet is a must-have, not an option for me. I think we were with you on that for sure, Matthias. That all of us here this morning. Bon dia, I strive for off grid. Oh wait, I am. Well done, Will. Yes, he is. He's an off gridder. What's your long-term business model to create income? So yes, that is possibly the concession. The internet. This is how you can make some money through the internet, right? Are you happy to answer that question in a broader business model?
Well, our plan is to eventually do some type of agri-tourism or something like that. But we'll have to see when we put in the project what they will allow us to have, because we would like to have, since we have such a huge piece of land, we'd like to have like little pockets of off-grid places for people to stay, either to Airbnb or to have a kind of eco park. But we'd have to see once we actually put in the project what is allowed and what's not, you know. Because, that was our plan from the beginning, to go with agritourism and all that. But like we said in the beginning, we didn't have enough funds to do the whole thing, you know. So we had to find some other way of making money. And about a year ago, Sarah, who is was, I guess, technologically challenged,
That's very kind.
has amazed me, I tell you, because she's the editor and I don't have the patience to sit in front of a computer and edit and all that, especially with the dinosaur of a laptop that we had. But Sarah somehow managed. I mean, she still struggles to open her email, but then she can edit a video using Resolve, that they use in the movies.
Yeah, amazing. It's much more exciting, isn't it, than email?
I don't know how she does it still. Every now and then she's like, how do I do this on Facebook? I'm like, sir, seriously? Like, you've learned how to edit and all this, and then and open Patreon, and she's learning how to build these websites on Wix. And
thanks to YouTube, I'm doing all this. Every time I needed something, okay, how do I do this part of editing? I look on YouTube and it teaches me, and then I can do it. Everything is just a really slow process. But as soon as I realized that if the money goes down too much, we're just gonna have to leave the land and go work somewhere for probably peanuts, and we're spending money somewhere else. It will take us so long.
And if you leave the land, whatever you've done over the past years is just gonna go downhill.
True.
So when I had a Molly who I adore, my dog, and I decided, let me start a YouTube channel for Molly, but no one was watching that channel. So I changed it into our lives.
It slowly evolved into us. We wanted Molly to be the star, really.
Yeah.
I think she is in a way. She's still, but that's amazing. So it is important that people subscribe to you on YouTube, and also if there are some. I was thinking of Spielberg, because he probably can't answer a text either, but he can make great movies like you, Sarah. But if there's anyone watching who's thinking, I mean, presumably you'll take big donations as well for people who just want to make a donation towards your philosophy of regeneration, of bringing the countryside back to life. And if anyone's got a few grand to spare that will just make these people's lives a lot easier, then why not do it? I mean, there are people in the world like that, aren't there? Absolutely.
Yes, there are.
Well, there's that wonderful guy, a billionaire guy who bought some Amazonian land just so that no one would touch it. And it's that kind of thinking, isn't it? I mean, and people who are doing what others might consider as good works for the planet need to be supported, I think. So definitely at least subscribe, or if you're a billionaire, bung a few thousand these guys' way just to make life a bit easier. I did my master's in energy and environmental engineering and made my focus boosting efficiency of systems, funneling wind, reflecting extra light solar panels, cheap solar hot water systems. So there's a good link to have with Will. He's a legend. Every hilltop near me has wind turbines on them, so the grid uses lots of green energy. So being off grid is to refuse sharing the energy generated. So I think off-grid is more of a political than an environmental statement. Interesting. I think it's maybe not as black and white as that, but we get the point you're making there, Martin, for sure. But you do have to dance with the devil, don't you, if you sell back to EDP? Work away. Work away, people are fantastic. It seems everything's in their favor, doesn't it? Work away, people are fantastic. We used people for 2 years while building a structure in LA. Great experiences, Khadija. Yeah. I need a little cash, so if anyone wants a consultant tutor, I could do that to earn my way, says Will. A nice little plug for his skills there. Congrats, Susan, from Matthias on the new residency there. Will does forestry work too. Gary is Will's agent on 20%. He gets 20%. He gets free firewood for promoting Will. As a retired electrician, please be careful, says Ron. Always turn power off when working on a system. Yes, that's a good bit of advice. You can do it, but take your time and ask questions. And that when you were answering the question about the solar, that was so lovely that there are people, when you ask, people appear, don't they? It seems. And you've got, Marion's husband and so on. Isn't it lovely how that you've got that network in Castelo Branco area as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, it is a really nice community, and we don't see people every day, but when we do need something, there's always someone there to help us out.
Yeah, we have a group of friends in this area, and we always have each other's backs. When they need something, we're there. When we need something, and it's just nice to have that support.
Yes.
And they're awesome
because
people.
From time to time, it's true. I mean, we are alone, so there's certain things that I can't help him lift when we need heavy work. I can do a lot. I mean, I'm getting there. But there's only so much. Sometimes Luke doesn't realize just how short I am and how weak maybe I am compared to him. But yeah, sometimes we do need a bit of muscle power, like when we had to move the caravan from one place to the other, and we had some amazing people. In an afternoon, we had like 8 people here to help us move it. So,
that's beautiful. That's how life should be, right? That sounds very Portuguese to me as well. Fantastic. Capricorn 12. Hola, bon dia. Chris here is Capricorn 12. I love watching all the Portugal-based YouTube channels. Looking forward to you guys working on the ruin. So there's people ready for that.
Yes, we are ready for it. We just have to, get there fund-wise. But
well, there you go. So there's a kind of Patreon thing. Chuck a few quid their way, and they'll get the ruin built quicker, so you can watch the videos about it. Washing machine motor and Peloton wheel would be a good project for on-demand electricity as well. Say Fiona and Simon.
Peloton wheel.
Yeah. YouTube is the ultimate teaching tool for beginners. The knowledge of humanity in the palm of your hand, with caveats. Yes, Ron, well said. Workaway is a great source. Been doing a Workaway in France for 6 years. Wonderful asset. Sign up as a host on Workaway. Yes. Composting, a good idea for a hot water system. Yes, indeed.
yes.
We did.
Yeah.
We tried that already for the first year, eh?
Yeah.
But we
Well, you run a hose pipe inside the compost, and
but it was a bit too small.
Yeah, we need a kind of a bigger.
It ran out quick.
Area, yes.
Okay, so you got a cold shower by the end of it, and you're able to do your Wim Hof stuff at the end of your shower. Very good. Yes. And what about human yaw? Are you? If we can talk about that just before 10 in the morning, going to go for that as well?
Yeah.
We just harvested our
hummus.
Hummus.
Your hummus.
Just
That's
a
not
couple of months ago, we're so happy with it.
Unfortunate name for the dip lovers.
Yeah, no double dipping there. So, yes, and you've got a nice rich compost as a result, if I might ask.
Yeah. We don't use it on any food we grow, but I spread it because it takes 3 years, right? So you basically put in a bucket, and then we compost it. And we make sure that it's lined at the bottom so it doesn't seep down into the water table. There's no leaching. We collect it all and pour it back in, and until it all breaks down.
Circle of life. The circle of life.
Yeah. So 1 year to fill it up, 1 year for it to compost, and then 1 year to cure. So we've been here just over 3 years, and a couple of months ago, I emptied one of the pellet cube things that we made and spread it all along all the cork trees and pine trees and all that.
Lovely 2018 vintage.
It was
yes,
beautiful. Like,
it's amazing.
We were really surprised because we didn't turn it or anything.
No.
And it just broke down. It's just
amazing.
so nice.
And it was so aerated, like all the bacteria and whatnot, the aerobic bacteria and everything just aerates it. It was just so. It's unbelievable, because it's been compacted. A year of poop,
Yeah, we made that. We made it.
Yes, your own work being
so amazing.
And it's completely natural. I mean, the problem with it people have is because they're out of the habit. But it's what loads of people do. It's what people have been doing for centuries, for as long as mankind have been around, right? We've just got a bit neurotic recently about it.
And just think of all the water we've saved over 3 years.
Well said.
I forgot how many liters an average household flushes down the toilet.
We do mention it in one of our videos. I have no idea now, though, how much it.
Well, it is insane, isn't it? It's literally insane to be flushing water, good clean water, after you've done a number 1 or a number 2. So let it mellow, definitely, or pee on a straw.
Not only that, and then in normal cities and whatnot, you're flushing all the water, like grey water as well, mixing it with that. It's insane.
Madness.
It is quite a taboo kind of thing for a lot of people. And a lot of people don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like even my parents, they don't want to poo in a bucket and throw sawdust over it, basically. They just don't want to do that, which is why I'm currently building a vermicomposting toilet, which is a flush toilet, but with worms. So at least they'll have a normal toilet when they come and visit.
Well, they'll have a shock. I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking, they flush the toilet and a load of worms appear, but it's not quite like.
It's a normal toilet, and it just goes into a 1,000-liter IBC, which is full of mulch and a bunch of worms.
How
and
good
it
is
just goes
that?
through it, and then as you flush, and it comes out into like a leach field, and when it comes out, it's already like 90% of the contaminants are out. And then you either have like a mulch pit or a green filter where you have like reeds or something like that. And
Beautiful.
it finishes cleaning it so it doesn't damage any of the water pollute any of the water table, basically.
Some of the happiest worms in Western Europe. Fantastic. Okay, guys, it's 10 o'clock, guys, and I said I wouldn't keep it. But let's just go to these last few comments, if we may. Solar is one of our projects, only 1.5 acres, but enough for us with 200 plus fruit and nut trees. So looking forward to seeing yours. It's going to be a bit of solar comparing there. Love the workout washing machine idea, says Lorraine. Regarding learning Portuguese, I just started to use the Memrise app and website and find it playful to learn each day a bit. Yeah, little and often, right? The world is a sexy place, Peter. Not much I can spice up really at my age. Oh, Gary, you've got your fans. We know that. There's lots of, I think you'll have lots of admirers with your eco-sexual thing there. For a Portuguese, it's easier to understand Italian and Spanish, considering that Portuguese alone is harder to master than the brothers of the Roman Latin language. Well said, Joel. Pete saying, Luke and Sarah found a great Indian near yours yesterday. If we can tempt you off the land for an evening. I think he means a restaurant rather than a person. Like, just by the roadside, I found a great Indian. Oh, hi. When you eventually get around to rebuilding your ruin, what are you hoping it will look like? A number of bedrooms, floors. Theo and B at Indie Projects. Hello, Theo and B have done something amazing to this. So what have you got in mind? What's your master plan?
This is for Beer. This is for Mark. I'm guessing his name is Mark. I know him.
Yeah. We know you, Bearders.
Yeah, their ruin was kind of already almost there, like with the walls and stuff. I think our ruin really we need to learn. Luke's learning a bit about stonework from Pete.
Of course he is. Yeah,
guys, and we have to do quite a bit of building before we actually.
It's huge as well. Yeah. It's 200 and something square meters. So it's going to be a huge project. We will have to obviously get an architect and see from there. We haven't thought too much about how many bedrooms, floors, etc. But when we get to it, you'll know. So
it's far away for now.
Yeah. All right. How are the ladies from Fernando going, and are they the right ones? A cryptic question there.
So Pete's builder. He's got loads of animals, and I was there a couple of weeks ago. He got this old Portuguese guy who's building him this amazing granite wall, like the huge granite walls. And Beautiful. He gave me a call, and he's because I told him I'd love to learn, because I need to learn these things. And sometimes it's better to learn in person than on YouTube,
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I went over and worked with them for the day. It was awesome. And I was talking to one guy, and he's got a load of animals. And we have some guinea fowl.
Ooh.
Over here. We bought 4. It turned out that 3 of them were male and 1 was female.
Yes.
And long story short, the female died on her. We don't know why. We just found her dead, and we ate one of the males. So I asked him. I said, "Can I have 2?" I thought they called them galinhas de Angola, and he said, "Yes, I have some." I said, "Can I buy 2 females off you?" He said, "Yeah, I'll give them to you. No worries." So I went to pick them up, and they look like some weird chicken to us.
I don't think they're guinea fowl, that's for sure. They look nothing like guinea fowl.
They look nothing like guinea fowl.
But we don't know what we have. They're 2 cute little.
They look like chickens, but then they've got like this funky, punky hairstyle.
Oh, I think we've got one of those. I think we call her Kate Bush. Yeah. Yes, and probably tastes like chicken as well. Matthias, yes, Luke, first things first. I think this is your animal strategy, which won't come as great news for Sarah there. Internet can't be counted as part of the grid because you get 4 5G with no cables or pipes. Well said, Gary. Yes. Matthias, well done, Sarah. I still need to get myself to learn how to use Resolve for my channel. It's amazing, isn't it? So many people involved in this process, which I think is enriching and educational and inspiring. It's fantastic. Have a great day. The rat race still calls. We've lost Andy. But have a great day, mate. You have an amazing life energy. Thank you guys for your videos from Damir there. Morning all. Off grid is the way to be, says Facebook user there. They're off grid with their anonymous posting there. People investing big in off grid systems should investigate life PO4 batteries or Life PO4 batteries, one of those useful good techs kept from making mainstream markets, sadly. So there's a nice little tip there for off-gridders. Michael Hopkins also here. Sarah and Luke, enjoy your channel. Obrigado, guys, from Fiona and Simon. That was great. Thank you so much. I've subscribed to your channel. Margaret Lopez, finally. Great project, guys. Congratulations. So just final question, and sorry to keep you, but would you recommend what you're doing to anyone else? Because you're living the dream for a lot of other people and they're thinking, should I, shouldn't I? What would you say to them?
If that's what you want,
if that's what they want, yes,
do it.
We know a few people who probably wouldn't be able to handle it, but we've traveled a lot and we've camped a lot, and this is the life we used to live while traveling, so it wasn't that much of a crazy step for us.
Okay.
But yeah, if that's what you want,
it's just so rewarding. Like it's just amazing. It's hard. I'm not gonna say it's not super tough, but
sometimes it's tough. Yeah, but
well said. Yeah, and Portugal, the place to do it
for us,
for us, no doubt. I'm leaving here only in a coffin.
I'm gonna bury you on the land. What do you say? Well,
yes, she's not leaving. Yes. Well. Yeah. Okay. So that's all you need to know about whether to off grid in Portugal or not. Thank you.
One bit of advice which I always give: if you always get a lawyer, because this is the most important part. Like people who haven't had good experiences, most of the time it's because they think they can do it themselves, and you really need someone who speaks English and who's got your back.
Yes, well said. Well said. Great bit of advice there, among so much other lovely advice and inspiration from you both this morning. Sarah and Luke and Molly and Timmy and the goats and the new Angolan chickens and everybody on your answer there. Marion saying, well done. Thank you so much. And it'd be lovely to speak to you again. You're welcome. You have the key to the studio. So whenever there's something to share, do please come back anytime. And I won't keep you for an hour. You can just drop in with a quick message. All right. So, ciao, ciao. Obrigado. Abrazos. Ciao, ciao.
Bye, everyone.
All right. There they go. So that's Sarah and Luke. And let me just scroll back to their. We've got to do them justice, and they are well worth subscribing to. As you can see, so many comments. I can't find. I'm going to do that again afresh. And just put the link to their YouTube channel in the comments for you. Do make sure you subscribe. It's really important for anyone doing YouTube work. And you're getting great value from those guys with their videos every Saturday, of course. And I still have a few more comments that are coming through. The inspiration continues here. So there's the link for you. And let's see what is being said here. Louise, thank you so much. Absolute pleasure, Louise. And I'm sure you've said to me you must speak to Sarah and Luke. And thank you for Sally for the reminder, Sally at expatsportugal.com for the prompt and making it possible. Morning. Have a fabulous Thursday from Jacqueline Branco. Good morning to you, Jacqueline, there in Gairas near Obidos. Thanks, Carl. Can't wait to see their videos. And Matthias, I subscribed to the channel as well just now. Fantastic. So if you will forgive me, I'll just get the most custardy bit of this. Look at this. Look at that. That is the bolo de bele with custard oozing out of what is really a traditional donut. I do like to cover areas of culture for you on your behalf if you're not able to do it. And I'm just about to, for those AMSR people, they might want to get real close to the speaker for this. A lovely couple, says Anita Samarish as well. So I have a big bite of this and then go and probably have to have a shower or at least wash my beard, because Mrs. M doesn't like to find the old flavor savers a few weeks later in there. Have a nice weekend. Oh, it's only Thursday, Barbara. Oh, that's a nice prompt as well, actually. It is Thursday. Tonight we have a webinar. It's a UK investment focus. So if you're looking for the key phrase is a tax wrapper. And you're keen to understand better investments for UK folks, UK and Europe. Not so good for Americans tonight, but that's with Paul from Fiduciary Wealth Management on our webinar. And then, of course, if you're part of the Premium Plus, part of our Expats Portugal plan, I'll see you guys at 9 Portugal time. That does not look like a German Berliner pastry. It's a hybrid. It's a hybrid. It's what the Germans wanted, I think, in the World War II Portugal, and that's what they came up with. A bit like, you know, the chamosa, various Portuguese treats and fancies that you find are brilliant hybrids of what have been imported or worked up with immigrants coming over here. Soon, Friday, I think she's counting down, wishing me a nice weekend there in Poland. So let's find the outro. More scenes here of Central Portugal for you. But I need to take a quick bite of this very, very quickly before I go. Oh, my word. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye for now.